Okay, so we shall start the class. So yesterday we were seeing subtraction using complements. So I will give a quick recap with it. So if you are going to subtract two numbers, that is if you are going to perform m minus n, and if you are going to use r's complement, or to be specific, let us consider it as tens complement. If you are going to use tens complement. So in that case, in the m minus n, you have to take the complement, that is tens complement of n, and add it with m. Before performing this operation, ensure that the number of digits in both m and n are same. So if you have less number of digits in any one of the number, prefix zeros to the smaller number. Okay. So now after addition, if you are going to, that is if you are, as you are using tens complement, you will be getting a n carry if m is greater than or equal to n. So in that case, you have to discard the n carry, and if m is less than n, the number will be as such. In order to obtain the result in the known format or interpretable format, you have to take the tens complement of the obtained result and add a negative sign to it in the front. Okay. And similar way, if we are going to use r minus 1's complement, and in this case 9's complement, take the 9's complement of n and add it with m. So if m is greater than n, you will be getting a n carry. You have to add that to the obtained result, and we call that as end around carry. Only then you will be getting the correct answer. And if m is less than n, similar to tens complement, here again you have to take the 9's complement of the obtained result and include the negative sign. Okay, that's what we saw yesterday. So hope you people tried one or two examples at least to get a touch of it. So for today's class, let's move on to codes. So today we will be seeing the various codes that we use in digital system. There are n number of codes. However, we will be seeing only very limited codes in this. Okay. So in our syllabus, we have binary code, gray code, binary coded decimal, that is BCD, and ASCII. Okay. ASCII, we are not going to use it as such because only computers will be using that, but we will just get to know what is there with the ASCII characters. Okay, and we will also see the code conversion, binary to gray and gray to binary codes. So with respect to codes, the general thing is any digital system, it will be using signals to perform the operation. So it will be having only two distinct values. As we say digital, it is low, high, true, false, 0, 1. That is what we deal with in case of a digital system. So it has only two distinct values, and the circuit elements that relate to it also are supposed to have only two stable states. So these digital systems, they represent and manipulate not only on binary numbers, but it also has many other discrete elements of information. So these discrete elements of information are represented with binary code. Binary code, when they say binary code, it need not be necessarily the binary number system as such. It is combination of or pattern of zeros and ones are being used. That is what the meaning is here with respect to binary code. So binary codes, as we say, it is coding. It implies it changes the symbol, but not the meaning of the information. That is, for example, if I want to pass or transmit some information in the form of numbers. Just for example's sake, let me take a very simple thing. I need to transmit a number 9 from one place to another, or from me to another. I need to send it to another person, but I don't want anyone else to know what I am actually transmitting. So for that purpose, instead of having the number 9 as such, I will be coding it using some binary combination. Maybe I can use a direct binary number, because in case of digital system, everything is of ones and zeros. So if I am going to use the direct binary number system, so I will be transmitting it as 1001. If I need to use an XS3 code, what I will be transmitting is 1100. That's how we are going to do. However, the message being transmitted is going to be the same. The representation may differ. Okay, that is the crux beyond this binary codes and why we need these binary codes. So with any n-bit binary code, it is a group of n bits. So n-bit binary code means you are having n bits in that particular code, and it has combinations. The n bit can have a combination of up to 2 per n. That is, for example, if I am going to use a 4-bit code. Okay, so with 4-bit code, I can have up to 2 per 4 combinations. That is, I can represent 16 different elements using the 4-bit code. Okay, it can be the combination of ones and zeros based on them. So these each combination represents an element of the set that is being coded. And in general, this n-bit code is obtained from the count in binary form 0 to 2 power n minus 1. So for example, if I say I need to encode some 16 numbers in the form of 4-bit binary, I will have the combination 0 to 15. That's what it indirectly means. And important thing here you need to notice, each element must be assigned a unique binary bit combination. No two elements can have same value. So when you are going to assign a binary code to a particular element, you should ensure that that particular set doesn't have any repetition, because it will lead to confusion otherwise. If you are going to have two things to be represented as the same value, the receiving side will not know what the corresponding message received is. So for that purpose, you should have a unique combination. This is just the intro with respect to binary codes. So basically the binary codes, you will be coming across different terms. You need not worry much about what is this, but we will see it. However, these things come to play when, if you are going to prepare for GATE exams, all these might be required actually. So these basic papers, what we do will be required if you are going to prepare for higher studies using GATE and things. So for that purpose, I have given these things. So basically the binary codes are classified as weighted codes, non-weighted codes, self-complementing codes, sequential codes, alphanumeric codes, error detecting and correcting codes. These are major classifications. Sometimes you will come across other names also. So as and when you come across, you can get to know of it. So weighted codes, as the name implies, the code will be given, that is, weightage will be given to the particular bit position. So for example, the binary code, so here I have given, so each decimal digit are obtained by assigning a fixed weight to each of the bit. So as we say that I can represent 9 as 1001. What it implies is I am giving a particular weight to each of the bit position, where it is in powers of 2. So that is indirectly 8421 code actually. So each of the bit position, the least significant bit is having the weight 1, the next one is having weight 2, next one 4, and next one 8. So 8 plus 1 will give me 9. That's why I am giving that as 1001. This BCD and 8421 are more or less one and the same. However, in case of BCD, as the name implies, it is binary coded decimal. So you will be having numbers only from 0 to 9. We will come back to that in a short while. So that is what is weighted codes. Non-weighted codes means it does not have any weight corresponding to the particular bit position. It takes some other logic. Just a minute. So non-weighted codes does not have any weight corresponding to the bit position. So with non-weighted codes, you do not have a fixed weight for each of the bit position. Okay, that is the main difference. We will see the different examples in short while. The next one is self-complementing code. So in case of a self-complementing code, the ninth complement of any digit may be obtained by complementing the individual bits of the corresponding number. So example for it is 2421 code and XS3 code. I will come back to that in short while and explain why it is called the self-complementing code and all that. Then another type is the reflected code. So reflected code, the main example is gray code, and this is also called as unit distance code. Okay, so now let us see each of these. So here we have some of the codes. So this BCD till 8421, these codes are actually weighted codes because these have weights in the corresponding position. So for example, if I consider this 5, in case of 8421 code, which is equivalent to the decimal also, in case of this 5, so here it is 8421 code. So 5 can be represented as 4 plus 1. So we have this as 0, 1, 0, 1. So each bit position is having a weight. And similarly, if you consider 7 or 9, just I was explaining. So 8 plus 1 is 9. So this is in case of BCD or the 8421 code. Now coming to this 5421. So 5421 means it represents, if you are going to have a 1 in 5, the corresponding value is equal to 1. And if you are going to have the code as 1100, it implies the value is 5 plus 4. So 9. Okay, va? However, here with all these type of codes, we are representing only with respect to the decimal number. So only till 0 to 9, you have the values and the remaining binary combination. Because we know with 4 bits, with 4 bit, I have 2 power 4 combinations. That is, I can actually represent 16 numbers using it, right? However, we are going to use it only for 10 numbers. So the remaining 6 combination will be unused in it. Okay, va? So here these combinations are actually unused. This is in case of 8421. This is in case of 5421 code. And with respect to this 2421 code, you have another different combination. So this unused combination will not be same in all these cases. Each will be a different one. Okay. So these are weighted codes. So here with 8, 4, minus 2, minus 1, or in some cases it will be mentioned as 8, 4, 2 bar, 1 bar. Okay. So here for representing 9, 8 plus 4 gives me 12, minus 3 gives me 9. So 9 is represented as 1111 in case of 8, 4, 2 bar, 1 bar code. And similar way for 2421 code, if I need to represent 7, we will be having this as the combination here they have used is till 0 to 4. It is same as that of 8421. After that, the priority is given with the most significant 2. That is, this 2 is given priority. So based on that, the numbers are written. Okay, ba? So for 5, it is written as 2 plus 2 plus 1, not a 4 plus 1. So that you need to just have in mind. And for 6, it is 2 plus 4. And for 7, 2 plus 4 plus 1. And for 8, 2 plus 4 plus 2. And for 9, all the ones. Okay, ba? These are about the weighted codes. So next I was mentioning non-weighted codes. So the examples for non-weighted codes are, these two are also non-weighted codes. XS3 and gray code. Non-weighted codes. Here, each bit position does not have any weight. It is just a random thing. So here, XS3 is basically BCD or the 8421 code plus 3. Whatever the value you give for the 8421 code or the BCD code, you need to add a 3 to it. That's why the name is XS3. Okay, ba? XS is just the short form. It is actually the word excess as such. Okay, va? excess 3. So in order to represent 0, we add a 3 to it and give the corresponding value. So 0, 0, 1, 1. And for 9, it is 9 plus 3, 12. So you have 1, 1, 0, 0. Okay, that is what is excess 3. So this gray code, next coming to this gray code, as I said, this is also non-weighted. However, here the way it is being written is the gray code always changes one bit value at a time. Changes one bit at a time. Okay. So here, with respect to gray code, the gray code also has the name reflected code, right? I was mentioning that just in the previous slide. It is called reflected code. And now I said this changes one bit at a time. Okay, va? So for equivalent decimal, we have the gray code to be 0, 0, 0, 0. Next for 1, it is 0, 0, 0, 1. For 2, we have 0, 0, 1, 1. Because I need to have the bit change in only one position. And for 3, it is 0, 0, 1, 0. Now let me tell you why this is called the reflected code. So if you are going to consider only the first or the least significant bit position, it is simply 0 and 1, right? Now this thing is actually getting reflected. That is, if you are going to place a mirror in this position, okay, this is just reflection. So if you are going to place a mirror, this 1 will be immediately seen over here and the 0 will be seen in this position, right? And if you are going to consider 2 bits at a time, so and I place a mirror over here, so the further bit position values will be like for 4 I have 0, 1, 1, 0 because I need to change only one bit at a time, and for 5 it is 0, 1, 1, 1, and for 6 it is 0, 1, 0, 1, and for 7 it is 0, 1, 0, 1. Okay, so here we are placing the mirror. The 1, 0 will be repeated here, 1, 1 will be repeated over here, 0, 1 is repeated here, and 0, 0 is repeated in this. Okay, same way if I am going to write for 8, so the 3 bits will be the same, the most significant bit alone will be changed. So 1 will be as such. Now I am going to place a mirror in this position. Here I am, sorry, here I am going to place a mirror. So 8 will be 1, 1, 0, 0. 9 will be 1, 1, 0, 1. 10 will be 1, 1, 1, 1. 11 will be 1, 1, 1, 0. 12 will be 1, 0, 1, 0. 13 will be 1, 0, 1, 1. 14 will be 1, 0, 0, 1. And 15 will be 1, 0, 0, 0. Okay, va? So this is why it is called reflected code, and as it is changing one bit at a time, that is next position porappa it is changing only one bit value. So this is also called as unit distance code. And this particular gray code is mostly used wherever you use some motor sort of, that is stepper motor madri idella use pannona, so you will be having the shaft position or the angular positions changed. So in such cases you need not want multiple bit to change at a time, because if there is some delay in the other bit position change, there will be a serious error. So for such problems, if they are using the digital design, they will be using this unit distance code. Okay. Okay. So now coming back, so reflective code. Now next type is the self-complementing code. So I was mentioning self-complementing code. So here, for example, let us take decimal 4. Okay, the corresponding excess 3 is 0, 1, 1, 1. So 9's complement of 4 is 9 minus 4, 5, right? So here we have the value of 5 to be 1000. That is just the complement of this particular thing. Okay, va? So we call this as self-complementing code. Similarly, this 2421 is also self-complementing actually. So here with 2421 code for 4, we have the value to be 0101. The 9's complement of 4 is 5. For that, the value is 1011. So here this also, it is a complementing one. Okay. The same way you could say see for other numbers also. For 3, it is 0011, and 9's complement of 3 is 6, which has 1100. The same you can observe in this XS3 code also. Okay, va? So here in this table itself, I have said about weighted codes, non-weighted codes, gray code, and so gray code with respect to it, I have said about the reflective codes and then the self-complementing codes. Sequential codes. The sequential code is nothing but you will be having the corresponding binary equivalent to be greater than that of the previous number. For example, this 8421 codes, XS3 codes are all examples of the sequential codes. For other numbers, we cannot always say that because here in case of this 84 minus 2 1 code, here actually you are having 1011, and after that only this 1010 is occurring. So the previous one is not always greater than this thing. So sequentially it is not coming up. So that is not a sequential code. But other codes, maybe 5421 code is also a sequential code. 2421 is also okay. 84 minus 2 minus 1 code is not a sequential code. So we have seen that also. Next, the alphanumeric codes. The most popularly used alphanumeric code are ASCII and EBCD code. So here we will see the ASCII alone. So it is basically a 7-bit code. So mostly with respect to computers, this ASCII format is used. So here this has, apart from having the numbers, you have letter symbols, then characters, and control operations also have specific combination to it. Okay, well, this is the basic thing you need to know about ASCII. And many computers, we know it will be considering 1 byte as information. So in that case, the most significant bit is considered as 0 as such to do these operations, and with 1 it will be considered or it will be assigned to other operation, or it may be used to identify if any error is there or not. That we will see shortly. That is with respect to the error detecting and correcting code. So with respect to that, actually we have the parity bit. So if a single error transforms a valid code into an invalid one, it is said to be a single error detecting code. So suppose if a particular code can detect a single bit error, we call that as the single error detecting code. So with respect to that, we use a bit called a parity bit. So what it actually does is, so with respect to parity, we generally say, that is, you cannot say where exactly the error is. However, you can detect whether there is a error or not. Okay. So here in this particular thing, so this even parity method, this implies this will be error free if you have even number of ones. Okay, so if we are going to have even number of ones, it is error free. Okay, so in the transmission side, I am going to send some 7 or 8 bits of binary values. Okay, so I am going to transmit some 8-bit number. So when we say even parity method, the receiver should receive the information as it is having even number of ones. So if the receiver receives odd number of ones, it is implied that there is a error in the message received. Okay, that is the logic behind here. And with odd parity method, the receiver should receive the number with odd number of ones. If they are receiving it with even number of ones, it is understood that there is a error. Okay, so this additional parity bit ensures that the message is transmitted with even number of ones. If that is, if your message as such from the sender, or let us consider a 7-bit number. Okay, so A is, oh sorry, A is sending 10110000. This is the message A has to transmit to B. Okay, so what it is actually done is, so here as it is a 7-bit message, the 8th bit is considered to be a parity bit, and I am going to use odd parity. So in that case, the parity bit will be taken 0. Only then the receiver will be receiving odd number of ones, ensuring that there is no error. Okay, if suppose by some means any error happened in between and the receiver receives with the even number of ones, then it is identified that there is a error in it. And if suppose the message I want to transmit is like this, the parity bit value will be equal to 1 in order to make this odd number of ones. Okay, that is the logic with respect to this parity bit. Okay, so these parity thing you will be studying much in the communication subject. So maybe in 4th sem, 5th sem, you will be having communication paper. In that you will be studying about it. And in this, another disadvantage is when we are transmitting, I am only checking for the odd number of ones or even number of ones. If two numbers changes value simultaneously, that is, I am having 101100. If suppose this changes, that is in the channel while it is getting transmitted, this changes to 0 and this changes to 1. Yet again, the receiver will be receiving same odd number of ones. However, that cannot be detected. Okay, so for this purpose, several other error detecting codes came into existence. One such code is Hamming code, and many more things are there. You will be studying that in communication. So these are about the basic codes you need to know. Next, we shall see BCD addition. So BCD, as we mentioned, it is binary coded decimal. This is just similar to how you do the addition, or you can have that BCD addition is many a times seen with the calculators. Internal operation, it is actually in binary. However, what we see is in the form of decimal. Okay, so in case of BCD addition, so till the sum value is from 0 to 9, the binary and BCD values are same. In case of binary, the maximum maximum value a digit can take is 9. So if I am going to add 2 9 my expected sum is 18, and if at all I have a carry, the expected output will be 90. That is the maximum thing I can have in case of a binary addition, right? In one bit position. Okay. So with this part is the additional n carry அப்படின்னு வச்சுக்கலாம். ஓகேவா? So in order to get this as a valid BCD, what we need to do is we need to add a correction factor of 6 to it. Correction factor of 6. Or in short, you can say, in case of BCD, 16 is represented as 0, 0, 0, 1, 0, 1, 1, 0. Because it is binary coded decimal. So the equivalent of 1 and the equivalent of 6. Whereas in case of binary, 16 is nothing but 1 followed by 1, 2, 3 and 4 zeros. Okay. So now adding a 6 to this, we are going to get it in the form of BCD. Okay, that is the reason why the correction factor for BCD to get the value correctly is 6. Okay, ma? So here some examples you have. So the first example is simply 4 plus 5. So 4 plus 5, as it is, you add and you are going to get 9. You don't have any problem with it. Now 4 plus 8, the equivalent binary is 1100. Whereas for BCD, you should get the answer as 10010. So by adding a 6 to it, we get that in this form. Okay, va? So that's the reason why this correction factor is added over here. Same way, this is another example where you have 8 plus 9 and it is added as, so this is binary equivalent. Adding a 6 to it, you get it in the form as 17. Okay. And if we are going to add a bigger number, so here it is considered 184 plus 576 is considered. So for each of the digit, you will be writing the equivalent BCD. So 1 is represented as 0001. Then you have 8. So 1000. Then we have 0100. That is the first number. And for 576, 0101, 011, 0110. So now adding this, each of the sum has to be checked whether it is greater than or equal to 9 or greater than 9. So here you are having 1010, which is not a valid BCD. So we add a 6 to it. So here you have 0000. Okay, va? Then here adding this 8 plus 7, you have a 16. So here again, you need to add a 6 to it. And this is the carry you got from here, 0010. From this, you will be having a carry, right? That is actually taken over here. Okay. And the resultant of this carry is taken over in this and successive way. Normal addition madri da, but you need to add a 6 to it if you have the binary value. That is, if you are going to have one values greater than 10. Okay, va? So this is BCD addition. Next, we shall see the code conversion. So with code conversion, we have binary to gray code conversion and gray to binary code conversion. So basically, in this binary to gray code conversion, what we do is we have the steps are actually given over here. The most significant bit of the gray code is the same as the first bit of the binary number. So here I have considered a binary number 10110. So the most significant bit is returned as it is. Next, the second bit of the gray code equals to the exclusive OR of the first and second bit of the binary number. So we have to perform exclusive OR operation of this. So for that purpose, let us see what is exclusive OR. So we will see that in logic gates. So before that, I want to explain this. Okay. So exclusive OR, this is also called as the XOR operation. What it actually does is, if you are going to have two similar inputs, the output value will be equal to 0. If you are going to have dissimilar inputs, the XOR operation gives you a 1. Okay. So similar input, output is 0. Dissimilar inputs, the output is 1. Okay, so now I have considered a different example in the slide. So let us see this particular example. So here we have 101101. Let this be the binary number, and I want to convert this to gray code. So the most significant bit, I said we will be writing it as such. So this is written as it is. Now for the second bit of gray code, we need to take the exclusive OR of the first two binary bits. Okay, so 1 0. So here you are having dissimilar input. So the exclusive OR operation will give me 1 as the output. Next, for the third bit, I need to take the second and third bits XOR value. So here again 0 and 1. So the output will be 1. Next, for the next bit, fourth bit of gray code, the third and fourth bit of the binary is exclusive OR. Here I have both the inputs same. So the output is 0. Next, for next bit position, these two, the XOR operation gives me a 1. And for the last thing, these two XOR operation, this will give me a 1. So this is the corresponding gray code for the binary 101 101. Okay, va? Do you understand? Let us say another example. Hope you remember writing for 3, the gray code is 0010. We know the binary value for it is 0011. Right? So let us just check it there itself. So let me take 0011. So the most significant bit is returned as it is. Then I take the exclusive operation of these. So this will give me a 0. Here again I take the exclusive operation. This gives me a 1 as they are dissimilar. Then for this 1 1 I take the exclusive operation. This will give me a 0. Okay. So this is the gray code and this is the corresponding binary. So next we shall see the gray to binary code conversion. So here with the gray to binary code also, the first bit, that is the most significant bit, is to be retained as such for both of the code conversions. For the remaining thing, if the second gray bit is 0, then the binary bit, the corresponding binary bit will be same as that of the previous binary bit. If it is a 1, you need to invert it. So for that thing, let us see an example. So maybe let us consider this itself just for better understanding. So you are going to do gray to binary. So let me consider the one we have now converted. So 111011. Okay. So here the most significant bit is returned as it is. Then what was mentioned is, if the gray bit is 0, you need to repeat the binary bit as it is, or otherwise you have to invert it. So here the gray bit is actually 1. So what we do is we invert this and make it 0. Next here, this gray bit value is 1. So we invert this particular binary. So a 1. Next we have this gray bit to be 0. So I retain the same binary value. Next this is a 0. So I invert this and make it a 0. This is a 1. So I invert this and make it a 1. Okay, wow. You can give this as 1 1 1 0 1 1. So the first bit is written as it is. Next you can say the same thing actually. You can say this is XOR and you get the output. Then this is XOR and you get the output to be 1. This is XOR and you get the output to be 1. This is XOR and you get the output to be 0. This is XOR and you get the output to be 1. Okay. You could say it in both the ways. Whichever you are comfortable with, you please check that or use that method. Okay. That is what we do for grade to binary code conversion. Okay, so to summarize, we have seen the various codes. And the classification. So we saw weighted codes, non-weighted codes, reflected codes, self-complementing codes, alphanumeric and error detecting codes. And to summarize with the binary to gray code conversion, you need to have the MSB of the, that is most significant bit of the binary to be returned as such, and then the first 2 bit positions value are to be XOR to get the second bit value of the gray code, and likewise we continue. The second and third binary bit is XOR to get the third gray code bit value, and we move on till we reach the least significant bit. And to convert a given gray code to binary code, the most significant bit of gray code is returned as such for the binary code as well. And then if the, that is generalized, I have given over here, if the nth gray code bit is 1, you need to invert the n minus 1th binary bit value. That is, to obtain the second binary bit value, I will be checking what the value of the second gray code is. If the second gray code value is 1, I will be inverting the first binary code value. If it is 0, I will be retaining the binary bit value as such. Okay, well, that is the thing you need to remember. So with respect to that, I have given very few problems over here. So you just try it. Okay, everyone. So we shall see next class next Wednesday. Thank you.